You walk into your living room, and there it is again, that beautiful dining table your mother gave you, or maybe that antique dresser you picked up at an estate sale 20 years ago, covered in a greasy, dull film that no amount of wiping seems to fix. You've tried spraying it down. You've tried wiping it with a damp cloth. You might have even spent good money on a fancy bottle of wood polish that smelled great for about 10 minutes and then left behind a sticky residue that somehow made the whole thing look even worse. Sound familiar? Here's what nobody tells you. That grime isn't just dirt. It's something far more stubborn, and using the wrong products on it doesn't just fail to clean it, it actually seals the grime deeper into the wood. That's why you've been fighting this battle for months, maybe even years, and the furniture still looks the same. But today, that changes. I'm going to show you a method that is so simple, so affordable, and so effective that you are going to wish someone had told you about this decades ago. We're not using any commercial polish. We're not using anything harsh or dangerous. Everything I'm about to share with you today, you probably already have sitting in your kitchen right now. And by the time we're done, your wood furniture is going to look the way it did the day you first brought it home: rich, warm, and genuinely clean. Stay with me, because the most important part of this whole method comes in step 3, and most people, even the ones who've tried something like this before, completely skip it. That one step is the difference between okay results and a jaw-dropping transformation. Let's get started. Before we jump into the solution, let's talk about what we're actually dealing with, because understanding the problem is what makes the solution work so well. Over time, wood furniture collects what's called buildup grime. This isn't the kind of dust you can wipe away with a feather duster. It's a combination of things: cooking oils that float through the air and settle on surfaces, skin oils from hands that touch the furniture every single day, old layers of furniture polish that never fully dried, and plain old household dust that gets mixed into all of that oil and essentially bakes onto the surface. What you end up with is a sticky, yellowish-brown film that looks dull, feels slightly tacky when you run your finger across it, and seems almost impossible to remove without scratching the wood underneath. Now here's where a lot of people go wrong. They reach for something abrasive, a rough scrub pad or a strong chemical cleaner, because they think they need something tough to fight tough grime. But wood is a natural, porous material. When you attack it with harsh chemicals or rough textures, you strip away the protective finish, dry out the wood fibers, and sometimes leave behind scratches that make the whole piece look worse than before. What we need is something that can break down grease and oil gently, lift it away from the surface without damaging the finish underneath, and do it in a way that's safe for our hands and safe to use indoors. And believe it or not, the combination of two very ordinary kitchen ingredients does exactly that, better than most commercial products on the market. Here's the thing that makes this method genuinely different. It doesn't just clean the surface, it actually penetrates the very top layer of grime and dissolves it from underneath. So instead of you scrubbing and pushing the grime around, the solution does the work for you. Your job is just to guide it. All right, let's gather everything before we begin so you're not running back and forth to the kitchen halfway through. I want this to be smooth and easy for you. Here's everything you need, and I promise this list is going to surprise you with how simple it is. First, you need white distilled vinegar. Not apple cider vinegar, not red wine vinegar, just plain white vinegar from the grocery store. A bottle typically costs under $2, and you probably already have one under your sink. Second, you need olive oil. Regular olive oil, nothing fancy. You don't need extra virgin, although it works just fine if that's all you have. You'll only be using a small amount. Third, you need a few clean microfiber cloths. If you don't have microfiber specifically, soft cotton cloths work too, like old t-shirts cut into squares. The key is that they need to be clean and soft with no rough textures. Fourth, you need a small mixing bowl and a spoon or fork to stir. Fifth, and this is the ingredient most people leave out, which is why they don't get the best results, you need a small amount of dish soap, just plain dish soap, like Dawn. This is going to be your secret weapon for the really stubborn spots. That's it. No trips to a specialty store, no expensive products, no protective gear needed. This is as safe and simple as it gets. One more thing, make sure the room you're working in has decent light. Natural daylight is best if you can manage it. You want to be able to see the grime clearly so you know when it's gone. Step-by-step process. Step 1. Start with a dry wipe. Before you put any liquid on this furniture, start by taking one of your dry microfiber cloths and gently wiping down the entire surface. Don't scrub, just wipe. Go with the grain of the wood, which means follow the lines and patterns you see running through the surface. Why are we doing this first? Because we want to remove any loose dust and surface debris before we introduce any moisture. If you skip this step and go straight to the wet solution, you end up dragging dust particles around and turning them into a muddy paste. A quick dry wipe takes about 60 seconds and makes every step after it work better. Pay attention to the corners, the edges, and any carved or decorative details on the furniture. Dust loves to hide in those spots. Take your time here. Think of this as the preparation before the real work begins. Step 2. Mix your cleaning solution. Now we're going to make the cleaning solution, and I want you to pay close attention to the ratio because it matters. In your small mixing bowl, combine 1/4 cup of white vinegar with 3/4 cups of warm water. Stir that together gently, then add just 2 drops of dish soap, not more than that, just 2 drops, and stir again very gently. You don't want it to get foamy. Now here's the part that transforms this from a basic cleaning solution into something truly effective. Add 1 teaspoon of olive oil and stir everything together. Let me explain why this combination works so beautifully, because understanding this is going to make you trust the process completely. The white vinegar is a mild acid. It's gentle enough to use on finished wood without stripping the protective coating, but strong enough to cut through the greasy film that makes your furniture look dull. It essentially dissolves the bond between the grime and the wood surface. The dish soap adds just a touch of surfactant power. That's a fancy word for the ingredient that helps lift oil away from a surface and suspend it in water so it can be wiped away. It targets the oily parts of the grime that vinegar alone might leave behind. And the olive oil? This is the part that surprises people most. A tiny amount of olive oil, diluted like this, does something wonderful. As the vinegar and soap clean the surface, the olive oil lightly conditions the wood underneath. It prevents the wood from looking dried out after cleaning, and it adds a soft, natural glow without making it slippery or sticky. It feeds the wood just enough to bring back that warm, healthy shine. Together, these 3 ingredients are doing 3 different jobs at the same time: dissolving, lifting, and nourishing. Step 3. Apply the solution. This is the step most people miss. Dip one of your clean microfiber cloths into the solution. Now, and this is critical, wring it out well. The cloth should be damp, not wet. You never want to put a soaking wet cloth on wood furniture. Excess moisture is one of the biggest enemies of wood, and it can cause warping, swelling, or water stains if it sits too long. So wring it out until it feels just barely damp. Then, working in small sections, about the size of a dinner plate, wipe the surface gently, again following the direction of the wood grain. Here's the part most people miss. Don't just swipe and move on. Use a slow, circular motion at first to loosen the grime, and then follow up with a straight stroke that goes with the grain. The circular motion breaks the grime loose. The straight stroke removes it cleanly. Together, they work like a 2-step dance. You'll notice something almost immediately. The cloth is going to pick up a brownish, yellowish residue. That's the grime coming off. You might even be a little shocked, or maybe a little disgusted at how much of it there is. That's perfectly normal. It's actually a good sign. It means the solution is working. Keep turning your cloth to a clean section as it gets dirty, so you're not just redistributing the grime across the surface. If your cloth gets fully saturated with grime before you finish a section, switch to a fresh cloth. Work your way across the entire piece of furniture, section by section, re-dipping and wringing your cloth as needed. Step 4. Target the stubborn spots. Once you've gone over the whole surface, take a close look. In most cases, you'll already see a dramatic improvement, but there may be a few stubborn spots, usually around handles, edges, and areas where hands touch most frequently, where the grime is thicker and older. For those spots, add just a small drop of undiluted dish soap directly to your damp cloth and work that specific area with a little more focused attention. The extra soap concentration gives you extra cutting power right where you need it, without having to increase the soap across the entire solution. Gentle pressure and patience will always do more than hard scrubbing. Let the solution sit on the spot for about 30 seconds before wiping. Just let it rest there and work. Then wipe away with a clean, slightly damp cloth. Step 5. The final wipe. This is the step that really brings the whole thing home. Take a fresh, clean cloth, dampen it with plain warm water, just water, nothing else, and wipe the entire surface one more time. This removes any trace of the vinegar and soap residue and leaves the wood truly clean. Then, immediately follow up with a completely dry cloth and buff the surface with light, circular motions. This is where the olive oil in your solution starts to do its beautiful work. As you buff, you'll feel the surface smooth out, and you'll begin to see a soft, warm glow appear across the wood. It's not a heavy polish shine. It's not a fake, plastic-looking gloss. It's the natural beauty of the wood itself, restored, clean, warm, and genuinely lovely.
Let's talk about what you're going to see when this is done, because I want you to know what to expect so you can appreciate the full transformation. Before this process, your furniture probably looked dull, maybe slightly sticky to the touch, with a yellowish or hazy film across the surface. The natural color of the wood might have looked muted or flat. Certain areas, especially near the edges or around handles, were probably darker and more visibly grimy than others. After this process, the wood grain is going to be visible again, really visible. The color will look warmer and richer, the way it looked when the piece was younger. The surface will feel smooth, not tacky, not greasy, not stiff, just smooth and clean. When light hits it, you'll see a soft, even glow that looks completely natural and inviting. And here's the part that brings a lot of people real joy. You did this with things that were already in your kitchen. No chemicals, no fumes, no worry about whether it was safe to have the grandchildren nearby. Just a simple, honest, effective method that gave you back something you thought was just going to keep looking worse and worse. That feeling, that satisfaction of restoring something rather than replacing it, is something that a store-bought product in a fancy bottle can't give you. This was you, your effort, your care, your hands, and it shows. Maintenance tips. Now that your furniture looks this good, let's make sure it stays that way, because good maintenance is what keeps you from ever having to do a deep clean like this again, or at least keeps it to just a couple of times a year. The most important thing you can do is wipe down your wood furniture once a week with a plain, dry microfiber cloth. Just a quick pass to catch the dust before it has a chance to mix with oils and settle in. This takes 2 minutes and saves you hours of deep cleaning down the road. Every couple of months, make a fresh batch of your vinegar and olive oil solution and do a light maintenance wipe. You don't need to scrub, just clean and buff. This keeps the grime from building up and keeps the wood conditioned. Be mindful about what you set on the wood surface. Always use coasters under glasses, especially anything with condensation. Water rings are one of the most common and frustrating types of damage to wood, and they're almost entirely preventable. Placemats under hot dishes are just as important. Heat can lift and damage the wood's finish over time. And here's one final tip that most people overlook. Keep wood furniture out of direct sunlight if at all possible. UV rays fade the color of wood over time and dry it out faster than almost anything else. A simple curtain or a repositioned lamp can make a big difference in how long your furniture stays beautiful. Well, there you have it. A complete, simple, genuinely effective method for removing years of grime from wood furniture, without a single drop of commercial polish, without any harsh chemicals, and without spending more than a few dollars on supplies you already own. I hope this felt less like a tutorial and more like a conversation with a friend who just happened to know a really good trick, because that's what I want this to be for you every single time. Now, I have a question for you. Have you already tried this method, or are you going to give it a go this weekend? What piece of furniture are you most excited to restore? Let me know in the comments below. I genuinely love reading every single one, and I always respond. If this video helped you today, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It takes just 1 second, and it truly helps more people find this information when they need it.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And make sure you hit that bell icon so you don't miss what's coming next. Because in my next video, I'm going to show you how to remove those stubborn water rings and white stains from wood furniture. Yes, those cloudy marks that appear when someone sets a cold glass on a surface without a coaster. You're going to be shocked at how easy it is to fix them with something that's probably sitting in your bathroom cabinet right now. Until then, take care of yourself, take care of your home, and remember, the best things in life are the ones worth restoring. I'll see you in the next one.